Hey, can you hear me? How's it going, everybody? Let's go ahead and do some of the Python. Yeah, woo, Python, so fun. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. PyCharm. PyCharm, hello. Hello, Nocturnal Gab. Mohammed, hello. Okay, let's go ahead and switch our project right quick. So it's recent projects, intro to Python, this window, cool, perfect. Alrighty then. Okay, so let's go ahead and open. Let's create a new one, new Python file. And we can do intro underscore 2 underscore Python 1027. Perfect. Okay, and then I will upload this after we're done today. What program do I code in? I use PyCharm, but you can also use VS Code. PyCharm, you can have the community edition, but you can also use Idle or Jupyter notebooks. But you could also have a Jupyter notebook here. So you can just go new and then Jupyter notebook, and then it'll ask you to name the Jupyter notebook. Oh my goodness. You have VS Code, but you're not sure about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly like VS Code, but let's see. David, yes, I have, but the issue, I mean, there's several issues. It's just very risky to do that, so. One second, I'm gonna close this and then I'm gonna open it back up, okay? Hi, how are you? Can I ask a question? Did this end up on your FYP? Because apparently my live was restricted and I'm not sure. So let's see, we're gonna do string, int, float. What else do we have? Yeah, Trey, thank you. I'm not sure because they've been blocking me and I don't know why, so that's fun. Okay. String, int, float, boolean. Thank you for letting me know though. Boolean, boolbrand, boolean. And then, do I know Linux? We had to take like a class on using Linux operating systems in school, so I can use the command line a bit. I'm not in school right now, Lisa. I have a master's degree in computer science, and my bachelor's degree was in biochemistry. Okie dokie, so let's go ahead and get started, and we'll see what happens this time. So we already know what a string is, right? So let's just go ahead and do title equals. One of my favorite movies is Surf's Up, so we'll call it Surf's Up. Yeah, Python. This is basic Python though, just in case anybody hasn't done it before. So a string can be a combination of text, it could be white space, it could be special characters like commas or let's see, I think we could put a hash in here. Yeah, you can. Okay, so like commas, hashes, at like any of these numbers, or not numbers, symbols. So let's go. Alright, so let's have an int. We could have a whole underscore number equals 10. So this is just an int. Or we could have like 10 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's 10 million. And the underscores don't actually do anything. Coding, coding, coding. Yes, we are coding. Bucket Hat Man, how are you? So we have 10 million. This is a whole number. They keep kicking me off of the FYP though. So me. Alright, so this is a whole number. This is 10 million, and we have underscores to separate the values just so it's a little bit easier to read. Let me see. So let me pop this out, this chat. Which one is easier, Python or C++? I would definitely say Python. We could also do like a float. So we could say Python by miles. Hey 80s Flo, how are you? Okay, so we say protein equals 13.2 grams or something. So this is a float, which is just a which is just a decimal. I mean, it's a floating point number. Right, so that means that it'll have a decimal point in it. Steph, you just learned Python. Yay, you just started this week. I mean, if you have any specific questions or you were not sure about something in your class, just let me know. Or are you in class? I'm not sure. Okay, so here protein is like 13.2, right? This is just a float. And then we have a boolean, so we could say is tired because I am unoriginal and TikTok is calling me unoriginal. And I'm going to say is tired is true, right? And so you're not in school, you're teaching yourself. What resources are you using to teach yourself? Hi, Suitable. Thank you. I hope you have a good evening too. So let's see, is tired, and then what we use it for really is like things like conditional statements. So we say if is underscore tired, then we can go ahead and print go to sleep. So what happens is that if is tired is true, then it will run the code block that's associated with this conditional statement right here. So free code camp, cool. So if is tired, print go to sleep, and when we run this, oops, wrong file. I need to change it to the current file. Okay. So it'll print to the terminal, go to sleep. You're low-key not understanding Intro to Python. What is the problem, G? Tell me. Okay, if not is tired, if we negate this, then nothing will print out. Right? Okay, so we can do what we usually do. Okay, so we'll do the list set tuple. I mean, I don't know how to spell your name. I mean, how to say your name. Is that croissant? Oh, it is croissant. Okay. I mean, you are here for a reason. That's all I can tell you. Bean, I'm guessing, has some experience too. Let's see, Palm Cruise. How many years did it take for you to get comfortable? I started learning Python like 10 years ago, so yeah. I mean, it's been a while, but I only started doing like live streams with Python like 2 or 3 months ago. Aw, thank you, Lonnie. How are you doing? Yeah, I was just a wee little toddler. back then. So, you know, big brains. Aw, thank you, Wolf. 10 years. I'm cooked taking a class right now. I'm kidding, Soju. I'm not like that young. I did use W3 schools. Took a single class about 10 years ago and flunked out. I mean, you can always try again. It's not too bad, especially if you know other languages. I'm happy you're here, Colin, but I'm sorry you're still working. You're in Intro to Python and you are learning ArcPy and ArcGIS. So ArcGIS, that's the Geoinformation Systems. Thank you, Pomp Cruise. Is it bad to use ChatGPT because I'm not understanding my assignments? You should probably have a tutor versus using ChatGPT. Do I post these videos on my page? They're on YouTube. What do I do for work? I'm a software engineer, but I work in QA. So QA automation testing. So I work on Cucumber files, like feature files and step definitions, and then try to automate as much testing as possible. But right now at work, we're not doing a whole lot of automation because we are very busy. So we're doing a lot of manual testing, which is the bane of my existence. I do not want to be doing manual testing. That's not why I'm here. I am here to code. So after work, I just come here and code with all of you. Do you use LeetCode and is it worth it for beginners? Not really. It's not so much for beginners. It's more for people who are like trying to get jobs and interviewing, but you can do LeetCode. You can try easy and medium problems. So Alhaj, on my GitHub, which is linked in my bio, if you go to the README file, then it'll have the resources for Python. I hate manual testing. Why do they... It's just like everything is like so like... You just sit there and you go, okay, change this data, change this data, change this data. Did it do something different? I don't know. Let me go back and try it again. And it's... Okay, I'm going to stop complaining about work. Alright, so... Let's go ahead and do flowers. So this is a list. Python is not that much harder, but I guess everybody has a different opinion, so it's fine. So lists are ordered, indexable, mutable, and they allow duplicates. Unfortunately, I am very busy with work, so I do not take on consulting positions. But I appreciate you, Detroit. There's a bunch of people in the comments who are developers, engineers, so if you're looking for somebody to work with, you can probably find something. Hey user, you can still learn if you want to. Good evening, Martin Devs. Okay, so let's go ahead. Can I get some flowers in the chat, please? Arrays are not ordered by default. In Python, lists are ordered. I do not sell courses. Okay, we need strings. I'm sorry, I should have been more direct. We need strings. So can you type the names of some flowers in the chat? Yes, McLovins. I am doing Python so that if anybody is interested in learning Python, then we're doing Python. Okay, so Rose. Dahlia. I am using PyCharm. Sunflower. Okay, what else do we have? We have daffodils. Marigold. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna work with this one. So this is our... So far, this is our list, right? So we have rose, dahlia, sunflower, daffodils. Cosmos, I forgot that's a flower. Is Python easy to learn if you know the fundamentals of Java? Yes, I would say so. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna run this. If I don't see it, it's just because I'm trying to type and I'm not looking at the other screen. I do not like it, Will. I am trying to get out of it because I would like to do more coding at work. I'm crying on the inside. Java likes to be extra compared to Python. That is true. I do Python. Okay, no, I do Java. Yes, I do Java. Okay, so we have flowers here, right? So ordered just means that if we print a value flowers at, let's say, 3, what is it going to print? Python is like the younger, better brother that got into Ivy League schools before you. Ah, that's depressing, Colin. Daffodil, yeah. Nice work, Darius. Okay, so if we print flowers at 3, at index 3, that's going to be daffodils. And why is that? Because we start with 0, the 0th index. So in Python and other programming languages, they are 0, the lists and things are 0 indexed. So we start from 0, 1, 2, 3. And the third index is going to, or the element at the third index is going to be daffodils. I am using PyCharm for coding. Is MATLAB similar to Python? I think that I would say no. I've worked with MATLAB and I really don't like it. It's not very coding friendly, I feel like. Maybe it's just because it's more mathy, but like Python has a lot of math to it. You're just going to have to use different libraries or specific libraries. Which languages don't start with 0? I'm not sure, Drake. Python instead of C. The flowers wilting. Okay. Let's see. So we have, this shows that it is ordered, right? Okay, indexable. Oh, sorry. It shows that it's indexable. But you can see here that when we print out this list of flowers, we get rose, dahlia, sunflower, daffodils, which is the same exact order, right? I hate MATLAB, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody in the chat who likes MATLAB. I just really hate it. I tried it one time and it made me very, very sad, but it is good for like creating visuals and things like that. Okay, so ordered, indexable. It's mutable, so we could go ahead and do flowers dot remove. We could remove rose, and we can print it again. And you see how rose is no longer in the, you can't even see my, okay, you see how rose is no longer in the list? That's part of what mutability means. Because MATLAB isn't really a coding language. Am I being a jerk for that? I am using OBS to stream to YouTube. I'm streaming YouTube and TikTok at the same time. How would you begin code for a welcome page to an app? I'm not working on a welcome page for an app. Okay. So we have flowers.remove rows. We could do flowers.append, and we can append Cosmos. And then when we print it, I don't know what ICI means or LCL. My YouTube account is in the, oh, thank you. My YouTube account is in the bio. Alright, so now when we print it again, dahlia, sunflower, daffodils, cosmos. Does dot drop work? I don't think so. I turned off, I don't think that does anything. That's like more of language for like a table, but that does not work here. Let's see, pop works. Python and MySQL? No, they're not similar. Can you use Python to make macros? I think you can for some applications, but I'm not sure which ones. Or I guess, do you mean macros like for Windows? I'm not sure, honestly. Do I work on a project live? Not right now. Sepic. Will I be teaching hash maps? We'll be going over dictionaries, yes. I haven't tried doing macros in Excel West South. Alright, so we have remove, append, And then if you wanted to delete something, you could do something like del flowers at 0. So which value will this remove if we're removing flowers at 0? I don't know, Apex. What other programming languages do you recommend physics majors to learn based off Python experience? I mean, that depends on what you want to do. If you wanted to, you could do simulations like C++ and Unreal Engine. I think that there's people who do physics and learn C++ and then use it in Unreal Engine to do like video games and visual effects. Cool, Andrew. Let's see, Dahlia. Yes, Dahlia will be removed. So let's go ahead. Do I teach how to create tic-tac-toe boards? No. Dahlia Cosmos. We're gonna delete Dahlia. I don't share my salary on TikTok. Okay. So we have print flowers, sunflower, daffodils, cosmos, and we can see that Dahlia was removed, right? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We can do tuples. So a tuple is very similar to a list, but it's more like a constant list. So a tuple is ordered, indexable. It's not mutable, but it does allow duplicates. You can't see my code on YouTube? Really? Oh, you can't see it well because it's too small? Thank you for letting me know. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you. Okay, is that better? Yes, I am streaming to YouTube at the same time. Am I in big tech? What's pickles? Am I in big tech? I'm not in small tech. What you mean by duplicates? Okay, so duplicates means that we could have, if we don't remove rows, for example, if we add rows again, can you see this in TikTok? If you add rows twice, can you see this okay? Yeah, if you add rows, let's see, oh, because I deleted it here. Run again. Okay, so can you see? You can't see it really. Let's go ahead and take out daffodils. Okay, so you see here, we have rows, we have Dahlia, sunflower, rose, cosmos. So rose appears twice in the list. That's what we mean by duplicates. It does append to the end of the array. You're here because you're bored, Sammy. Thank you for hanging out. Teach us how to write variables in Python. Oh, thank you, Martin Devs. Okay, let's see. Tuples are what are tuples represented with? Oh, we use parentheses for tuples. It's still, you still can't see it very well on YouTube. I might have to change the settings. I can't change the settings right now. Let's see if I increase. Oh, good quality. Okay, better quality. Okay, apply. Okay. Alright, so it's gonna be slower now, but you can go ahead and see if it's working better now. Can you split in Python or splice? Yes, you can. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do splitting right quick. So we could do print flowers, and then we could do something like 1 to nothing, right? So this is just going to be 1 to the end, because what happens is that when we are, say we can have an array or a list, and then we're going to say start, end, and then increment. Okay, so then when I run this, okay, so let's see. Now, first we had Rose, Dahlia. Let me check my TikTok, make sure you can see it. Rose, Dahlia, Sunflower, Rose, Cosmos. When we go from 1 until the end, notice how we're taking off the first one. We're saying only take from the index 1, so Dahlia, until the end, right? Or we could do 1 to 3. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3 to Rose. So let's go ahead and run this. So this is exclusive of the end. So it'll only show Dahlia and Sunflower. I'm streaming from the US. In my opinion, do LeetCode problems well reflect in the format of industry projects? Not really, because there's not enough time to address like all the concerns. It's just supposed to be a very whittled down version of, you know, a potential feature that you might work on. Let's see. Keep going. All right. So is there any more splicing that you wanted me to do? We could do like a reversing thing. So let me see if we do -1. I think this should reverse the list. Oh, nope, that didn't do that. Okay, so if we take out start and end, this will reverse the list. What? Okay, I'm making a mistake here. Oh wait, maybe it's because I didn't do doubles. Why is this not working? Okay, you see now, it's reversed. So we go Cosmos, Cosmos, Rose, Rose, Sunflower, Sunflower, Dahlia, Dahlia, Rose, Rose. Yeah. Or you can, I think, do, is it flowers.reverse? Is this one of them? No. Or is it, oh, I see, okay, I think I know what I need to do. Control X out here, and then flowers, because it doesn't actually return a value, right? Okay, yep. So there's a couple different ways you can reverse. How much money can someone make? Can you use concat in Python? You can use you can concatenate strings if that's what you mean. So you could do like concatenate equals hi, my name is Henry. So this would be an example of concatenating strings. So then we would do print concatenate, we can call it example. Sorry. Alright, so it says, hi, my name is Henry, but it kind of looks somewhat like my name is Shenry. Can you demo threads in Python? Not today. Alright, so we did a little bit of string manipulation. You could also do something like, if you wanted to take another list, you can do twos equals, and then I'm gonna do this manually. I'm gonna do 2 for 2, or sorry, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we could print twos, and then we would do something like, okay, so, oh, thank you for the heart, Kara, or is it Kara? Can you use sort? Yes, you can. So we have print twos. So if we printed twos, then we could do from the beginning, we don't have to say 0, we can just leave it there to 2, and then we could say every Is it every 2? Let's see. Okay, so then this will only print 1. Okay, I have to double check on this one, or we can look at the documentation. Yeah, let me look at that again later. Yes, I am a software engineer and this is Python. Can you create your book classes in Python? Yes, you can. You can do object-oriented programming in Python. Okay. Your Python coding teacher is back. Hello, STLA. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our tuples. So for tuple, oh, I already put it up here. I'm gonna delete this one because it was a bad example and I'll go review it and then come back later. Hi, Wellbit. Okay, so we have a tuple, right? Let's go ahead and do, you guys are probably gonna kill me, but fragrances equals, and then we're gonna use parentheses. Hi, Babs. New here, Wellbit. Am I doing object-oriented programming today? No, I was thinking about doing depth first search. Do I work at a big company? That is a good question. How big is a big company? Okay, so we have fragrances. Could you put fragrances in the chat, please? I can only think of so many fragrances. I have to code. I need some help, please. No? Nobody wants to help? Do I need to change it to colors? Maybe fragrances is Versace. I wasn't meaning like... Okay, you guys took it... Okay, so Hugo Boss, Versace, Burberry. Yeah, I was thinking more like generic, not... Thank you for the gifts. Generic, more like, Dior, Okay, let me see. What else do we have? Lavender, Burberry, Wood, Dolce & Gabbana, Dior. Okay. Right? So, the thing about... What is that? Maybe I should have said scents. Yeah. I wouldn't say really smells. Okay. Let's try scents. Because I don't know if they're gonna, like, come for me because I'm using, like, you know... So let's try sense. I have used JavaScript, Fabuloso. I mean, Fabuloso is a scent, so... Okay, so somebody said jasmine, somebody said lavender, woody. Is it lavender or lavendar? Woody. Orange. Ooh, citrus. Ode? I don't know what ode is. Lemon. Lavender, honey, rose, vanilla, sandalwood. Maddie, thank you. Common. Pine. I do like the scent of pine. Rose, vanilla. Let's see. Can Python be used for creating an app? Better languages to use are Kotlin, Swift, Flutter. Flutter can be used between different OSs, different operating systems like Mac or Android. New car scent. Hi Cynthia, I work as an engineer. Patchouli. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. With the thing with scents is that we know that they're ordered indexable. The biggest thing is that they're not mutable, but they do allow duplicates. So when we think about using tuples, then what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we don't need to change the data, right? Thank you. We don't need to change the data, and that's the benefit of tuples, is that it helps the data to stay constant because there's no way to change the data once it's in a tuple. Once the tuple has been created, you cannot make changes to the elements. You cannot change the size, you cannot add or remove, you can't change the elements at the individual indexes or indices. I used W3 schools and free resources like learnpython.org, and I practiced a lot. What parentheses are used to represent tuples? I'm not sure what you mean by that. This is parentheses, right? Before, when we were doing a list, we used square brackets. And then when we do sets, then that will be curly braces. All right, so we have sense. So tuples, they don't take up as much space as a list. That's part of the benefit of them, because you don't need to have all these other functions, and you don't need to dynamically size it because it's going to stay the same size. So the tuple size is constant, and because it's constant, because you don't have all these other functions and you're not like trying to add more things to it, then it's going to be smaller than a list of the same size, like how much space it takes up. Okay, so here we have tuple. We can go ahead and print tuple. Oh no, sense at 1. What will this print? I am not frozen. Best sites for learning Python. You can check the GitHub repo README doc, and that will show some of the examples that you can use for learning, like learning resources. Tuples are good for returning multiple values from a function to. Yes. Jasmine, what was the best learning website for you? Okay, I think I answered that. Does it really matter how much space tuples or lists take? It does, depending on, like if you have, what do you call them? Like, it has to do with optimization of the system. So whether you have space constraints or, what do you call it? Like, if you have large amounts of data, then it might be better to use a tuple than a list, for example. What would be a practical use of tuples versus other collections? Cynthia, you are an engineer, so you can respond with that information in the comments. You literally need to be my college professor. I have a job, but thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah, there's a README doc, README, on my repo, and the repo is Learn to Code with Ali, and it's linked in my bio. Thank you, Mance, for posting README. Let's see, so show a beginner version. Irene, what do you mean beginner version? Have I tried Lua? No, I have not. Okay, so let's keep going. So we have sense. Let's go ahead and oh, okay, so Jasmine, that's what we were printing, right? I don't use Visual Basic. I think that there are some people in the chat who might have suggestions for games that make learning Python fun. I started learning Python over 10 years ago, so that's not really something that I use. I don't use games to help me learn. Okay, so print sense 1, that was going to be Jasmine, and then now if we want to do like a set, so let's go ahead and do a set. So a set is going to be not ordered, not indexable. It is mutable. What kind of software software do you engineer? I am a QA automation testing engineer. So it's more like automation tests, like a lot of triggering APIs, looking at data, validating it, comparing it between things. What is the difference for slicing and indexing? So slicing is when you're only getting like a part of the list or, you know, the string, whereas indexing, when you're getting it by the index, you're just retrieving an element at a specific index in the list. Are you happy with the job or is it boring? I am not happy with my current job because it is a lot of manual testing. So I'm trying to move to do more development, but it is interesting and I am learning a lot. It's just not really where I want to be right now. Do I work a lot with CI? CI? Do you mean like command line? Do you use Postman? Yes, I do. I use a lot of Postman. Still script kitties on Python. Kitties? Hey, Noozle. Noozle? Have you ever tried front-end engineering? No. Continuous integration. Oh, I see. I'm used to CI/CD context. Do you work a lot with continuous integration? I mean, I do the functional testing and regression testing in continuous integration. Salary range, between 80 and 120. Can you code for me a trading strategy? No. I don't know what how deep you are in means. Is it worth it? That's relative. Okay. So let's do sets. So let's do cartoon characters. So what are your favorite cartoon characters? In the chat, please. Who's your favorite cartoon character? I am like intermediate level in Python. And I'm learning Django. Mickey. Is it Django? Yeah, it's Django. Buttercup. Johnny Bravo. Poe? Like Kung Fu Panda Poe? Tom and Jerry. That's 2 characters. Itadori? I don't know who that is. Jerry, Arnold. Hey, Arnold. Naruto. Panda. Who's Panda? Bob SquarePants. SpongeBob. Blossom and Bubbles. Papia. I don't know that one. Stewie. I was expecting somebody from Family Guy. Naruto, Ranma. Let's see. Garnet. Oh, okay. That's Stevens something. Poe, Tasmania, Ponyo. Oh, Ponyo. Jerry, Naruto. Have you worked with lower level languages? No. I've used C++ and C and Haskell a little bit. And a teensy bit of Bash. Let's see. Tanjiro. Poe. Everybody likes Poe. Finn the Human. I don't know that. Dragon Warrior. Yes. I like Poe. Dragon Warrior. Okay. Katashi. Stewie. Steven Universe. Oh, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Inuyasha. Aladdin. Let's see. Pikachu. Pikachu. It seems there are many paths. There are. How do you pick a path? You have to learn about them and you have to ask people, what do you do? And then you go like, oh, I don't like that. And then you go, maybe I'll go find something else. What programming language do I use at work? Java. Hi, Mia. How are you? Let's see. Okay. Jake? Who is Jake a cartoon character? Let's see. Alright, so we have cartoons here, right? So with sets, we cannot get a set by, or we cannot get an element in the set by the index because it's not indexable. And it is not ordered, so if we print cartoon, let me go ahead and comment these out. TT. Adventure Time Jake. Oh, okay, that's the guy with the brown hair and the star shirt. Okay. Where do I start if I want to start Java programming? You can look at W3 schools. I think, is it Oedipus? Odysseus? Odyssey. Okay. Spring Boot is good to learn for Java, yes. Jake the dog. Do most jobs use Java? No. Am I employed? Yes, I am. Let's see. So, is it correct to say all ordered elements is indexable? I am not sure about that. I don't think so. Because, for example, in a linked list, it's not indexable. Which programming language should you try? Whatever you're interested in. Hola, ¿cómo está? If you're in college, use Codex or GitHub Student Pack. That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Rachel. Let's see. Okay. Yes, I did use C# for Unity, but I haven't used it in a long time. Okay, so let's come back down here so we can print cartoon. When we print this, we get... Why did I put Johnny Brave? Ugh. Okay, Buttercup, Mickey, Johnny Bravo. You see how up here it says Mickey, Buttercup, Johnny Bravo? So this, when we're looking at this, now we can see that it's not ordered. So just because we put it in order or in a certain order when we first create the list, doesn't mean that it will stay in that order. How to fall in love with coding rather than just completing it for homework. You have to find something that you're passionate about in coding and like have an end goal. Is file handling necessary to learn as a software engineer? I would say yes. Okay, let's see. So Silent Hero, you can look at Unreal Engine. Can some people put like suggestions for video games in the chat? Like, it used to be Unity and Unreal Engine, but people don't like Unity so much anymore. Why is it not in the same order? Because it's a set, because it doesn't have a specified order. Though it's not ordered, it's not going to change its index, right? So that's the thing, is that it's not ordered, but it's also not indexable. So like up here, we could count on it to have the same order and it would have a constant or consistent index. This is not a dictionary, this is a set. But you do use curly braces for dictionaries too. Okay, so we print cartoon. We could say if Mickey in cartoon, let's make it plural. Cartoons, then whoop. What does Mickey say? Print. You ended up getting 2 certs, Kevin. I did not keep working on it. I was going to try to work on it some more, but I don't know. I'm happy for you though that you got them. You want to be here but you don't understand anything, BSA. You're practicing file handling but you're having some confusion. Mishka, Musha, Mickey Mouse. Is Python enough to land a job? That just depends on what job you find. Yeah, 8 to 9 hours each. I will see if I can at least get 1. You hate DSA? Lie. Lies. Who hates DSA? Who doesn't like DSA? Software engineers love DSA. What if you added another Mickey to the set? What will happen? Oh, we can try that. So what does Mickey say though? Where is Minnie? Okay, so RT McKellar said that sets aren't ordered because you can have a duplicate input value, so index can't be determined. Do you have to be good at math to excel in Python or Java? Not necessarily. See, what makes a set and a dictionary different? So a set has discrete elements, like individual elements, whereas a dictionary uses key value pairs. How much did I code on average per day to practice? When I was studying, I think easily 6 to 8 hours. Like, you kind of treat it like a job. Haha! No. No? It's Mickey Mouse. I'm pretty sure I answered your question. But yeah, so let's say if Mickey in cartoons, then print where's Minnie. So this is just going to check to see whether this element already exists in the set. And this is like a common way that we use it. So a set, since it can't have duplicates, we're just checking to see, does the set value exist here? And you can also use sets for like when you're doing like union difference between sets and things like that. Do I do this for a living? Do I do TikTok live streaming for a living? I mean, it would be nice to get paid like that to be able to do TikTok live streaming for a living, but I don't. So, up to what level of math will you use at Python and Java? It just depends. There's discrete math too, which uses algebra. Does it use integrals like calculus for discrete math? I don't remember. Do I code for a living? So currently I'm not doing a lot of coding at work, but not all software engineers code consistently. Thank you. Especially as you cannot, I don't think you can pop from a set, but you can pop from a list, and you can pop from a list, not a tuple. Let's see. As software engineers get more advanced, you do less coding, but that's not why I'm not doing coding. It's because I am working in QA. So it's QA automation testing. So right now, because we're really busy, they don't really have us doing as much automation as we would like to do. I don't use Selenium for work. I haven't used any, or I haven't done any UI testing. I've only done backend testing. So like APIs, a lot of Postman, that sort of thing. Cool, Brittany. I hope that your Python learning goes well after you're done with SQL. Yep, Postman. Lots and lots of Postman. I don't use C. What's my favorite front-end framework? That's such a funny question because I would have to use a front-end framework to have a favorite. I'm planning to learn React, but what's affirming Adams? I'm planning to learn React, but again, it takes time. And my biggest, yes, I only do backend. My biggest priority right now is just backend, so I haven't been doing front end. All right, so what shall we do? Dictionaries. I do not do private tutoring. Back-end web development? Yes, a bit. Divine. You're really into Swift? Okay, let me ask you questions about Swift. I don't know Laravel, so I can't help you with that. Learn TypeScript as well. See, like, whenever you say you're gonna learn something, then people just add something else to the list, and it's like there's this just growing list of like what you're supposed to learn. Okay. Yeah, Django is something that I have to work on too. Thank you, Adams. I appreciate that. Okay. Yes, it's PyCharm. Teach you Python and you'll teach me React. Do I do DevOps? I don't right now, not really. I used to do something that was similar to DevOps. Okay. You see cartoons. Alright, how do you get into notebooks? So you would just create a new Jupyter notebook file and then name it and open it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on from sets. Let's see, Flutter Digital Marketing, Ethical Hacking, and Cybersecurity in 2 years, PSB. I feel like people are giving me their resumes. I don't have any jobs to hire for. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yes, coding assistants like Copilot. Do you think it's counterproductive to learning? It just depends. Because you can ask it questions, which is nice, but if you have it do all your work for you, then it's harder to learn. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So let's see. That's interesting, Adams. Shall we do... Actually, I need to turn off the air conditioning because it's kind of cold. Sorry about that. 1 second, I'll be back. Okay, I have returned. Thank you. Can also access in web without connecting to internal intranet. Interesting. All right. Is there anything specific that people want to do right now? It has been 50 minutes. Let's see. You're fine, Adams. Oh, right, dictionaries. Okay. So if we want to do dictionaries, I'm gonna need your help. Yeah, APIs, Postman for APIs is helpful. They also have like a small area. Let me see. Do I have Postman right now? I do. Okay. So hopefully I don't have anything important. No, I don't. Okay. So what you can do, let's see. Stop it. Stop it. Work properly. Okay. You can see this, right? So we have like a post, we have the endpoint. You can send the body, you can send the auth. So you could choose whether you're using an API key or a bearer token. You could even do like a prereq. No. You would have to create like a separate call. Like you could create like different calls here, right? And you would create a separate call to get the auth token and then store it in the environment variables. Let me see, where's the environment? Do I not have environment variables? I think I don't have environment variables because it's not, you would have to store it in the environment variables, and then you would get the environment variables and you would be like, hey, this is the value that we're gonna use, so key, right? But you would do it like in the bearer token, so you would say like token, and then it says no token found right now. You need to define it in the active collection or environments. Oh, that's, see, we put the bearer token here. Oh, thanks, Adams. So what you can do if you want to is you can add gifts. So if you add gifts, then it will like take whatever points you have and convert it to some, you know, value. So it gives gems and then the gems pay out. But yeah, so you can add headers here. You can uncheck the headers so that it's not sending them. You can put in the body for the payload. Here I put the department name, C block. Aw, thank you, I appreciate it. How can you do Django? That's a question that I have, Blackjack. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to do Django. Waiting for somebody to have a live stream where they're showing Django so that I can sit in and be like asking them questions. Okay, so you have body here. And then you have pre-request script, right? So with the pre-request script, this is like JavaScript that you would be writing. And this would run before you actually send this this request. So that might be what's it might be calculating like an HMAC signature or something like that. And then after it's done, then you can write tests, and you can do, where did you start your software engineering journey? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, what kind of education do I have? So under tests, you can see it, okay. So under tests, you would just write some JavaScript to check to make sure that your status code is getting like 200 or something, right? Or maybe you're validating specific values. So you're doing like an assert. That's how it works here. I'm not sure about settings. Okay, it says SSL certificates, automatic follow redirects, authorization header, parser stuff. Okay, yep, so that's pretty much it. All right, so, oh right, we're gonna do dictionaries. Okay, so let's do, you want to do signs and drinks? So let's go signs. Yeah, let's do signs equals. We're gonna do a dictionary. And then what drinks do you want to talk about? So, oh, let's do signs first. So Leo, what does a Leo drink? What does a Leo drink, my friends? I was like, was I supposed to do anything else today? Did you start researching the stuff on your own, or did you go to school as soon as you could? I went to school, I learned Java, and then afterwards I wanted to learn Python, so I taught myself Python. So I don't think I used YouTube videos that much, but I used tutorials from like W3 Schools, learnpython.org. Soda? Thank you. Okay. I'm going to need your help in the chat. All right. So we could say a Capricorn drinks water. Water. What else? Let's have Scorpio. What does a Scorpio drink? Scorpio. Hi, Jimmy. Immy. So what does a Scorpio drink? You passed your SQL quiz, Sunny. Okay. Blood? Seriously, guys? Seriously? Coffee. Okay. Let's do coffee. Alright. Let's say a Virgo. Hi, how are you? Is it Ali? Coke. What does a Virgo drink? You want to learn Python? We're doing Python right now. Wine. Beer. Okay, let's say Sagittarius drinks a pumpkin spice latte. Because they're basic. Do I get jobs as a data scientist? How do you get jobs as a data scientist? Accurate? Did you just call me basic? Okay. Pumpkin spice latte. Okay, so I don't even know how to spell Sagittarius. How do you spell it? Sagittarium. Okay. Alright, so if we want to use this, then we can do something like a for loop. So for sign and drink, Sagittarius drinking pumpkin spice. Okay, for sign, drink in signs.items, what this is going to do is that it's going to take each item and create a tuple, and then here we're unpacking the tuple into these different temporary variables, right? You're moving from Alteryx to Databricks and you can hardly remember SQL. Hugh, lucky for you, there's a lot of stuff on the internet about SQL, but don't select all and don't join all tables. That's all I can say. Am I a Sagittarius? Yes, I am. So I'm going to say print. We're going to use an F string, so this is a formatted string, so we just prefix the string, right, with F, and then we're going to say curly braces, sign likes to drink. And we're using curly braces to get that variable, right? So when we print this, is a Leo most common? I'm not sure. Can we talk about the difference between tuples and variables? That is an interesting question, Dave. What do you do at work as a software engineer? QA, automation testing, and manual testing, unfortunately. Are dictionaries in Python unordered? Yes, they are unordered in Python. Yes, variables and tuples are two different things, but that's like a very... It's a weird question because a tuple is a data structure and a variable is like, you can think of it as a container or a box that holds some value. So a variable can be assigned to a tuple. Yeah, tuples are immutable lists. Can you implement Dijkstra's algorithm? No, I'm not doing that. Not right now. You're trying to find a job in QA. Are strings mutable? So when we operate on them, they look mutable, but technically they're not. You start your Python class on Monday. Congratulations. I wish you luck. Can you do for index with Python or only... You're saying, can you get the indices? Okay. Yeah, so Dave, mutable just means that you can change like the size, right? So you can add or remove elements from the tuple. You can't do that. You can add or remove elements from a list. You also can't change any of the elements that are already in the tuple because it's not mutable, but you can change elements in a list. Oh, right, you said for loop. You could do... You do not need to be a good software engineer before you do a master's in machine learning. I just think that it would have been good. So up here we did flowers, and then these were the flowers, right? Tess, how do you know that you have finished a language? How do you not forget what you learned? So not forgetting what you learned, I think that if you don't use it, you're going to forget, but you have to go back and practice it if you don't want to forget. How do you know when you finished? You never finished learning a language. You get better at it, and you might get like more skilled or more experienced, but you're never going to necessarily finish because there's always like some other library that you can learn. I go live on Mondays and Thursdays in the afternoon. Learning Python, using it for LeetCode. I really like Python for LeetCode. I would hate to do Java for LeetCode. Hey Michael, we're not really doing anything. We're just doing, we are doing, like, how do you call it? Like, beginners Python for people who are interested. Okay, so here we have signs, right? Does anyone want to do DFS? Thank you, Michael. Shall we do DFS? You used to do LeetCode, Java for LeetCode, but it was a headache. Or JavaScript. JavaScript for LeetCode is hard. I thought it would be about the same as Python. Maybe I misunderstand. Let me see. Okay. So, what's the difference between BFS, DFS? Okay, so we're gonna just do DFS today. So DFS is depth first search. Depth first search. And we're gonna only talk about binary trees. Which IDE? This is PyCharm. So binary trees. So we have 3 options when we're doing DFS. or we're going to use 3 different ones. So we have pre-order, post-order, and in order. Oh, cool. I'm glad. I legitimately thought that because they were both like scripting, that JavaScript would be about the same as Python. Hitsuda. I am also getting flashbacks. Okay, so we have pre-order, post-order, in order. So when we're doing pre-order, this is going to be root, left, right. And then for post-order, this is going to be left, right, root. And then for in order, it's going to be left, root, right. And this is kind of assuming, like in a binary tree, that left would be less than the, well, lower or less than the root, and then right would be greater than the root. Why am I typing random letters? That is a good question. Okay. So let me see. Let me do one more thing because I am neglecting the YouTube people. My bad. I forgot to check to see whether or not anybody was trying to talk to me on YouTube. Let me just go over here and I don't even remember how to do this. Let's see. Okay, so I am currently live. Let me just... Okay, Martin is there. We can't see the code on YouTube. Hidden syntax. Sorry about that. Let me pop this out the chat just in case anybody else comes in. Sorry about that. Data analyst or data engineer? Neither! Let's see. If anyone is interested in learning from the start, I go live weekends and I am doing Python on your LinkedIn. Let's see. Okay, so we have, let's go ahead and do, so we have pre-order, root, left, right, post-order, left, right, root. So when we make our tree, we're gonna use a dictionary, and if anybody has comments on this, please feel free to share. I'm just gonna do like A, and then we're going to do a list. So I'm going to say B, and I'm going to say C, and then we'll do B, and does B have any children? So this will be, we could say D and E, E, and then let's go ahead and do C, and we'll say C has no children, or we'll give C 1 child, okay? So F, and then we will do A, B, C, D. So we'll say D has no children, so we'll make an empty list. And then we will do D, E. So let's see, E will have no children. And then let's see, F. Okay, right? So this is A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, cool. So now, let's go ahead. Thank you, Martin Dev. Sorry I missed your message. All right, so we have a tree here, and we're going to go ahead and create a, let's look at our definitions again. Pre-order, root, left, right. So we can do pre-order first. We're going to do recursive. So let's do def. How is called these structures? Yes. So this is the root or parent node, and these are the children nodes or child nodes. I'm not using edges in this case. I'm only using nodes. So we can do def pre-order DFS, and we're going to take in a graph and a node. So it'll be the start node, but we'll just call it node. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna see, oh, we also need to say visited. So we need to keep track of which nodes have already been visited. So we're gonna say if visited is empty, so we can say if not visited, then we're gonna do visited equals set. and then we're going to do visited.add. So every time that we get to a new node, thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Arkim. Thank you, Popcorn. Pom-pom. Pom-pom? Oh, pom-pom way. Like, is that like carry pom-you? Okay. So we have visited.add node, right? Okay. So we visit a node and we add it to our visited list, and then we need to go ahead and let's see. So we have graph node. We say if let me see, node. 1 second. Okay, let me see. A, B, C, D, E, F. Visited node. If node not in visited, then let's go ahead and send it to pre-order underscore DFS. I need to, I'm not done yet. So let me see, pre-order DFS, and then we're gonna say graph node visited. Okay, I think it's, we give if node not in visited. 1 second, let me double check. Okay, so we have recursive DFS here. Right, okay. For child in tree, this one is child not in visited, recursive DFS. Oh, that's why. I think I'm confusing myself because I was doing pre-order, post-order stuff before. Okay, so let's see. We have if node not in visited, pre-order DFS, and then let's see. Oh, I remember. Okay, so we could do if graph at node is greater than or length of graph at node. Linked list, I wasn't planning on it, is greater than 0. Then we will go ahead and pass. So this is just checking to see, like, we're looking for a left one first, right? So we're gonna say graph node at 0. And then here we'll do another if, and we'll say length of graph node is greater than 1. Then we'll do pre-order underscore DFS, and then pass graph node at 1. And graph node at 1 is going to be our right. It's going to be our right node. So we're going to have a left node and a right node for the children. And then we're going to say pass visited. And then, let's see, so visited.add, and then we can also print here. I have to see. Okay, yeah, print node. And so this is going to be recursive because it's just, DFS is just depth first search. So when we go pre-order DFS graph, so this is passing the whole tree or the graph. Yes, like leaf is probably a good one. All right, so we have graph, and then we have graph node. So this is passing the left node, and this is passing the right node, or the left child, right child. And this is like left, right, because we're only doing a binary tree. We're not doing anything more than that because it gets more complicated. All right, so let me think. Let's go ahead and pass the tree. And we're going to pass A because that's the root node. Diana. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and print. And then we have, let's print the tree, or not print, print. We're going to do pre-order underscore DFS. I'm going to check my work right now. So tree. And then we have A will be the first node. And then we will have, we can just pass none because it's empty. So let's try to run this. Okay. So we get A, B, D, E, C, F. Let's check if that's correct. So pre-order is root, then left, right, right? So we got root, so we have A, and then it will go to B, and then it will continue with B because B is still on the left. So then it'll say D and E, and then it'll go back up. So it's gonna go back to C, and then when it hits C, then it's gonna check F. And so this is correct for pre-order. And since we have this code already, we can very easily make post order, and we can make thank you for the gamer tater. We can very easily make post order and in order now. So if we do another definition, we could do def post order underscore DFS. We pass graph. You can use a book like this. It's called Think Data Structures. This is in Java, but it's the same principles. You just might want to look up some specific examples online, or you can use YouTube, or just other tutorials. Like, I was reviewing it for about 3 hours yesterday, and then after that I started working on LeetCode problems to practice for this. So let's see, node. So we're just gonna pass, oh wait, no. We're gonna say node, and then we're gonna say visited. You're thinking that it's not good for your ADHD chocolate spread? I'm sorry. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing. If not visited, then visited equals set. And so post order, that's just left child, right child, and then it goes to root, right? Yes, we're doing Python right now. So you're using what I learned in the book here? No, this book, I mean, you can learn it from this book. It's Think Data Structures. Think Data Structures from O'Reilly. Okay, so let's see, we can do if, so first we're gonna do these guys, right? We can copy it if we want to. We could even make this a little bit more interesting maybe, and call functions, because all we have to do now, right, we're just rearranging it. So if you know how to do it one way, then you know how to do it. As long as you remember the order, you can do it the other way. I don't know how to say your name because it's blank, AK Dare, but I'm trying to focus on the code. That's why I'm not responding to comments right now. Okay, so this would be post order. So this is left, right, root, right? So if I wanted to, I could change this to post order DFS and run it again and see what the answer is. Oops, let me comment this out because we don't need this printing. Okay, so here we have post order. Let's go ahead and check. It says B, D, E, C, F, A. All right, so it's going to start with the left, right? So B, and then it goes to D, and then it goes to E. Okay, that's done. So now we're gonna go to the right. So C, now we check C for any children, and it's gonna go F, and any other one that it'll have. And then after it's done with the right, then it's gonna go to the root, which is A. So this is correct. And then we could also make it a little bit more interesting. We could do F, and then we could say G. So we could say, actually let's do D goes to G. D has a child G, and then let's say G here, and then G will have an empty list. Oops. Okay, so then I run it again, and we get B, D, G, E, C, F, A. Okay, and now we go back up, and we are doing post order, so it's left, right, root, right? So we start with left child, which is B, then it goes to D, And so after D, then it'll go straight to D, right? Because it starts on the left and it'll continue on the left until there's no more, and then it'll go to the right. And it'll continue to the right until there's no more, and then it'll go back to the root. So we have, let's see, we have B, then we have D, then we have, we keep going from D, we go to G, and then we go back up, we go to E, and then after E, then we go back up to C, which is the right, and then we go to, let's see, okay, C has the child F, so then we go to F, there's nothing in F, so we go back up to A, right? Okay. So that's pre-order DFS, post-order DFS, that's correct. So now let's try in-order DFS. And technically, because these are duplicates, we could make potentially a, let's refactor the code, extract the method. This will be something like, we could say check left maybe, check underscore left. And then we'll do check right. So refactor, extract method, check right. I'll say check right child. Aw, thank you, Aviant. Okay, so let's say check left child. We're gonna refactor this, rename it to check left child. So this is, the book is called Think Data Structures, but it's very small. It's very thin. It's more like a reference or resource than a textbook, but I find it helpful. Okay, so we have check left child, check right child, and you see now when we have, okay, let me move this around because this is a little bit confusing. So Control X, and then let's go ahead and put these down here. Oops. Control X, Control V. Okay. So this is just reorganizing the code so that it's a little bit clearer. So this can now be also the same, right? So we just need check left, check right. So we can replace that. You're welcome, Sir Emeldo. Emeldo? Yeah. Okay. So if we do this again, so this is BDG ECFA, BDG ECFA, it's the same, so we're fine. And then now we can continue with in order. So def in order underscore DFS, graph node visited. And then we would do if not visited. Then we would say visited equals a new set. And then we would go ahead and, since it's in order, first we would check left child. And we would pass the graph, the node, and visited. Visited. Thanks, suitable. And then when we want to check the right child, check underscore right underscore child, then it'll be graph node visited, right? And then, oh, sorry, let me go ahead and print node. So this is when we're printing node, this is when we're just doing some action on node. So we might want to like change the node in some way, and we only want to change the root node one at a time, because every time we check like a child, then it's recursion, right? So it's gonna call this method again and again and again and again until it reaches some end condition. And in this case, it's going to keep calling until there's no other, until the length of the nodes is not 1 and it's not 0 anymore, or it's not greater than 1 and not greater than 0. Okay, I would put left and right here. Thank you, Guitar Man, for the roses. Okay, you can't see. What can't you see? Okay, so we have left child, right child. We have in order DFS, so let me go ahead and do in order. And then let's run this. Okay, so we get B, D, G, E, A, C, F. B, D, G, E, A, C, F, right? So then we come back up here and we just want to do a check and make sure that we got it right. What helped you work through this? I retaught myself last night for 3 hours. You can clear the comment section, just press and hold and it should say clear screen. It is a lot of reading, Adrian. Okay, so we have, it's left, root, right, okay? So we go left first, that's gonna be B. And then we know that B has a child, so B has a child D, that's the left child. And then let's see, so then it'll be B, D. D has a child, so it'll be left again, right? And then we move on to, let's see, B, D, G. We go back to E because there's no more children on the left. And then we will go back up to A because we need to hit the node, right? And then we'll head down the right branch or the right children. So let's see, we have A and then we go to C. And then we have F, right? So can you visualize this in your head or do you want me to write it for you? Hi Kat, my live starts around 5 p.m. on Mondays and 6 p.m. on Thursdays, but I usually don't do algorithms. This is the first time I'm doing algorithms live. Do you want me to show you how to visualize this? Okay, let's open a Paint program. Okay, so let's see, we have, oops, oh, you can't see this, okay. So this is the Paint program, right? So we're gonna do, let's make it smaller. Okay, so we have A, B, C, oh, C, D, E, F, G, right? Okay. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. How do I go to the right? Okay, so we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can you see this okay still? Alright, so we started off, I'm gonna... Okay, this will work. Alright, so we have the... up here, right? Okay, so we have A, B, C. So we have B, and I'm gonna move this over here, and then we have C. Move, oh! We have C, I'm gonna move this... No, stop it. C, move this over here, right? And then we have DE. So DE is their children of B. So D, and then E. Oh no. E. See, this is part of the reason why I didn't want to do algorithms live, because it's a little bit difficult to show. C, D. Okay, C is... F is a child of C. F is a child of C. It's going to be the first child. And then D has a child G. Right? So then we can draw lines to make it a little bit easier to understand. Right? Okay, so A, B, nope, stop it, B, E, and like this, right? Does that help? So if you're having problem with the comments, just click and hold the screen and press clear. It's really easy to reverse letters in a sentence, even words. Olivier, you would just split by the spaces, and then you would split by the spaces, and then you would reverse the list, and then you would join the string or join the list using spaces again. Let me see. So Anna, did that help? Anna Garcia and Miss E and Kat. I feel like, okay, Adrian was also asking, and memes. Did this help to write it out? Cool. Okay. Yep. So that's basically it. And then you just kind of have to practice like imagining it. And also it can look like, when you have the problems, it can be presented in different ways, like showing edges instead of you know, using a dictionary and showing the parent and then the child nodes. You made a mistake in post order traversal yesterday. It's okay. It happens. Alright. So, I think that's it for today. How do you delete an nth node from the end in a list? You have to keep track of the head, and then you have to traverse the list until you get to the end, and then you would remove the second to last. Like, the second to last will point to the last element, right? Or the last node. So you have to remove that connection where it points. So you would just set it to like null, and then you would return the head. So you either have to know how long is the list, or you would go through the list and keep track of the previous node. And then you would also, while you're keeping track of the previous node, you would check to see, does this node that I'm currently on have a next? If it has a next, then you keep going. If it doesn't have a next, then you would get the previous node and you would remove the connection to the current node that you're on. You would just say like previous dot next equals none. All right, so I am done for today. Is this similar to a linked list? Not really. It's a tree or a graph. A linked list, linked lists and singly linked lists are just sort of, you know, it's just like a line, whereas this can have branches. You're welcome. Have a good one. All right. You're welcome. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you. I'll see you on Thursday, but that will be Java. And I'm not sure if I'll be doing Bye bye. I don't think I'm. Hi! They're not there? I didn't know you were there. Okay. Bye everyone. Have a good night.